guys? It's Jonathan from Howard Hospitality Group, and I am here today with Mike from 720 Vending out of Colorado. You guys have all seen his videos, and you learned as much as we have from him, which is a lot. So today we're going to learn a little bit about him, which is actually really cool because I don't know him that well. So for me, only via what we message each other at least 4 or 5 times a week now. So it's just via Messenger. We've actually never talked to each other face to face like this. So this is kind of cool. We send each other, messages and stuff like that and questions and whatever, but I've never actually seen you in person. So this is kind of cool. And usually in your videos, it's always not you. You know what I mean? It's always, most of the time, it's the camera just looking at the machines and stuff. So I like your top view on stuff too, which is kind of cool. That's kind of a nice view that you do with that. So anyways, how are you?
I'm doing good tonight.
Good. So it is in the evening, even though you can't tell by his background because he's sneaky and he has this sneaky background making it look like it's daytime, but it's actually nighttime. And so we're doing this a little late, but that's okay because we kind of live and breathe vending, right? So
Absolutely.
we're always, that's just kind of how it goes. So to break the ice, the first question I always ask is, if you're like all of us, you've probably been playing video games since you were a young kid, or arcade games or something like that. What is your favorite video game of all time or arcade game, and why?
One of my favorites is Galaga because I could just play it for hours upon hours.
Yeah, and you actually, there's a lot of skill in that game. Like you kind of need to know like timing. There's a lot of timing in that game, so you're pretty good at it.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at it, and it depends on how fast you can hit that fire button too.
Exactly. That was the thing. You're always tapping super fast. And I was always good at like Centipede, but I was never good at Galaga. Like my buddy killed it on that game, but I could never do like Centipede was okay, I think, because it was a little slower. But yeah, I mean, Gradius or one of those games, I was always good at those, but never Galaga for some reason. It just, I don't know. I never did get a Galaga, but that's a good one. So did you play it as a kid at an arcade near you? Or?
I played it as a kid in the arcades. I still play it here at home. I built myself a RetroPie arcade station.
Oh, cool. Nice. So is it in an actual, what do you want to say? Like a cabinet and everything?
No, it's actually, so it sits on the coffee table and it's got 2 players with 6 buttons each, and an HDMI cable runs from that to the TV.
Nice.
And I have upwards of 1,400 games loaded onto that Raspberry Pi.
Very cool.
So
you built that yourself though? You did? Because I've seen them like on Amazon and stuff. You can buy them, but they're like I think $250 to $300 or something for the, the one that's double player or whatever, but it has a stick and everything. But you built that all on your own?
I'll send you a picture of it later.
That's pretty cool. Nice. Very cool. So tell us how you got started in vending.
Well, I started out by watching Claw Kicker. I was one of his original followers back when he was still living in Phoenix.
Yeah, that's way back. Yeah,
that's way back. That's where I also got the lucky quarter in the bucket.
Oh, nice.
That's from his original videos. But Mike G, AFC Vending, there was one other, I can't remember the name of them because they're not really broadcasting anymore. And then I found Matt and I found Extreme.
Yeah.
But the one that really got me started was Claw Kicker and his crane machines, and he started doing full line before he moved up to Michigan.
Yeah, and then now he's doing full arcades and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And he took a little break for a little while. Now it seems like he's back, which is cool. So he's back to making videos, which is nice.
Yeah.
But he got really big really fast, and I think that was kind of the beginning of it all. And then it seemed like it kind of slumped, and then now it's back on the
uptick.
Yeah, it is. And I know, like, from being in the Discord, like you're in our Discord now, and the people that watch, I mean, you get a lot of people watching your videos now. Like you've kind of skyrocketed too, right?
A little bit. I'm up to just shy of 1,900 hours and 585 on the subscriber count. So I'm getting there.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is that our viewer time, because I think your videos are a lot longer, because you do right? Don't you do pretty long videos?
I do. Usually when I post a video, and it's up to about 3 times a week now, it's they're about 10 minutes long a piece, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes long. But then I do a little 1 minute short every day. Usually it's just a collection.
That's where you're getting it. Nice.
And the
I wish I had
collections.
time to do those. Yeah, like Matt's been bugging me a lot from Galaxy Games about doing those because he does. I mean, you've seen how much content he's
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's pumping that stuff out right now, and he's doing at least shorts and everything else every day. And I know he's got like always has like 10 in the can. You know what I mean? Ready to post. So
I've got about a week's loaded up right now.
That's awesome.
But what I do is that when I go and do my
I'm like
collections,
a week behind.
but when I do a full run on collections and stocking, I'll record the stocking part as one video, and then I'll pause and then I'll start the next one. I'll do the collection part in a minute.
That's what I've been
And then
seeing. Yep.
and then I'll post the 1 minute as a short.
Well, my son Sam's been watching you're probably getting a lot of your viewership from him because he just took over the full line for us. So he's just started doing, and he's been showing me like, because he's been watching your videos and stuff. And I said, I'm actually interviewing him coming up. And he's like, no way. I'm like, yeah. So he watches your videos all the time. And it started because he was watching kind of a little bit on TikTok. And then he saw me watching the videos on YouTube and we were doing our YouTube. And he couldn't believe like, because I've done 3 videos with him now, I think. And like how many views he got. Like he was so excited, that people were like, no way. And I'm like, full line, it seems like we get more views from our full line stuff than we do from our claw machines, but claw machines seem to be more popular. But I'm wondering if they really are. Do you think they are? Because I think like at least on YouTube, I think we're getting more time from our full line videos than our claw machine videos.
What I've noticed with mine is that they'll skip through the videos to the point just before I collect the money.
Oh.
Is there wanting the money collections is what they're really wanting.
Yeah. And we've kind of gotten away from that because the thing that Amelia and Sam, they really like the fact that they've been getting comments from other kids, on their videos and stuff. And I think that's super cool because they want to see other kids do it. And they get a lot of questions on how to get started. And so we kind of cut back on the collection videos a little bit just because we want to kind of show what it's really like, the real deal on what it is to do. And so now I'm working with Sam because we've been putting together. I made him organize the garage the other day because I didn't want to put it in video, because it was just such a mess. And I told him, we need to do some pre-kitting videos and we need to do some showing like what you do before you even go, like how much work it is, because
it's a lot of work.
It's a huge amount of work. I mean, like just ordering product, getting it, putting it in your shelves, pre-kitting, then going and collecting, then doing your inventory. Then, I mean, it's just like, we're with Amelia, it's like we just dump a bunch of toys in a box or in her bag and then go and collect and dump some toys in there and leave. And that's pretty much claw machine like 101, besides cleaning it and that kind of stuff. So if those of you who are getting into full line vending realize that it's about 4 times as much work as any other vending that's out there.
It is.
Yeah. But there's also a big reward, right?
There is. The profit margins are good on soda, especially if you price them right.
What are you running your soda at right now?
So at my mobile home parks, I have them all running at $1.25 a can, $3 for Monster. I have one warehouse and a retirement apartment complex. I'm running them still at $1 there.
Okay.
Because I know it's like day labor for the warehouse, so I know they don't have much money.
Right.
And as long as sodas don't go up much more in price, I won't go up to $1.25. But as for the retirement,
luckily the cans have stayed pretty steady. Like we haven't seen much of an increase. But do you do mini bottles or you only do cans?
I only do cans.
Yeah. So my wife, she's really good at numbers. I'm not good at numbers. So before we started, we had to decide because all of our Pepsi machines from Pepsi came with bottles. They were already set up for pricing for bottles and racks for bottles, and then the actual 501 E, right? 501.
Yep.
Yeah, 501Es were all set up for bottles. So I had to.
They were already shimmed out for the bottles.
Yeah, they're all shimmed up for the bottles. So we had to decide when we got them, like, what do we want to do? And so she crunched all the numbers and found out it was actually you make more money with cans in the long run. She found out, and so that's why we went with cans. And we've been doing pretty well with cans. I mean, we're like you. We do $1.25 at all of our locations. We only do $2.50 for our energy drinks. We're still buying them at Sam's Club, but we do the little skinny Red Bulls. Those are only like $2.25, and then like the big monsters. They buy
Yeah,
those white monsters, those sugar-free ones. They buy
those
those
are
like crazy. I mean, you
those are
can't
those are what I get, and I upped the price of those to $3 a can, and that didn't slow down my sales at all.
really. Sam said the same thing, and I wanted to believe him, but those guys go through 18 cans a week. And so I told him, I said,
If
if you
you go to
raise it,
250, if you go to $3, they'll still buy it
okay, I
because
don't know.
you're
Well,
right at that point. They're paying for the convenience, and it's right there,
right.
and it
With the
puts it
hard part, go ahead.
just below the. It just puts it just below the convenience store price.
Okay. Then we may do that because we even like our town is really small. We live in a small town. So like where these are, the dealerships in town, they're close to the store. So like they don't have to really go that far. So we thought maybe if we were a little bit less, they would just end up buying it off. And it worked. I mean, they buy all their drinks from us. But Sam said the same thing. He goes, I went to the local store and it was like 50 cents more. And I'm like, well, all right, well, I don't know. I said, I'm afraid because we did raise, we did originally, we were at $1 for our soda when we first started, and then we went to $1.25, and then our sales slumped a little bit. Same with our snacks. Like we went from like $1.50 to $1.75, and everything kind of slumped for like a couple months. And then it came back up. So we're like, yay, but we were afraid that it wasn't going to come back because they, even though we told them and they understood and they even said, no, we know like everything's gone up and it's convenience and all that. Like they were super cool about it. It's still slumped. So I'll talk to him. You're probably right, and I'll let him know you said that because he'll be impressed with knowing that. And I didn't think that was smart, but you're right. So I'll tell
Oh,
him.
it happens.
Yep.
And for my
So
hotel location, I have all the 12-ounce cans at $1.50 a can, just
eh,
because it's a hotel,
yeah,
and they still clean me out of soda.
yeah. We have a few of those, but we don't have any drinks in them yet because the locations are upstairs, and Pepsi won't bring the machines upstairs for us, and we don't have a way to get them up. We don't have a fancy dolly to like lift them up. And I mean, you know how heavy those things
Oh,
are.
for
Like,
for
and they
if
don't
you if
have elevators, so it's like this is stupid. So we
oh if
haven't.
it's those BevMax ones that are the glass fronts, you need a pallet jack to get those things up, get those things moved.
They've got really cool like electric moving jacks that they use that are just really fancy, and they just whip them in and out like you wouldn't believe. So we've been really lucky because we haven't really had to move. The only machines we moved was the first snack machine we ever got, and then we learned to get white glove delivery when we got our snack machines delivered because then they pushed it right into where you want it and unwrap it and make sure it works. And so we've been doing that, which it wasn't, the guy actually said it wasn't even, they weren't even going to charge us for it. So that was
That's
winning,
awesome.
which is great. So I mean, I don't know where do you get your machines mostly?
All of my machines I've either gotten off of Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist.
Yeah.
Like
And if
the
you
one I
had,
have at
go ahead. I'm
sorry,
sorry.
the one I have at the hotel, that's the snack and the soda combo. I actually found that one on Craigslist for $500, and there was
What?
nothing wrong with it.
Really?
The
That's like
only
a
thing I had to,
$4,000 machine. You know that,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
And then it sat around in my storage unit for like a year before I could find a location for it. But when I put it on that location, I put a card reader on it and found out the card reader wasn't going to work because the board was not compatible.
Oh, great.
So I called up Wittern and I ordered a new board from them, and it worked. Then it worked just fine.
Yeah.
But it was plug and play on that board.
How hard of a time did you have getting a hold of Winter? Did you have a problem?
A couple years ago, it was easy.
Yeah.
Now it's you're lucky if you get through on the phone lines, or you're
Yeah, and
waiting on lines for an
I've
hour.
noticed that too, and I don't know why that is, but it used to be, I mean, you'd call right in and you get somebody right away, and now it doesn't seem like it's like that. So what I've been doing is we have, the sales guy that we bought our machines through, like I send him an email and say like, I need to talk to somebody. Can you please have them answer the phone? And he'll go call me and I'll transfer you into. So if you guys don't know how to do that, that's the trick is talk to your salesperson, tell them you're going to call and you need like somebody, because I'll be on site. That's the only time that I'll ever call where I need help. Otherwise,
Yeah.
even the Pepsi guys will help me with the snack machines because most of those guys, they used to do Lay's. They were Lay's and Pepsi here. I don't know if you guys
Uh-huh.
had that there. So they used to do snack and drink. So they know how to do both machines. So the guy and I became pretty good friends. That is their head of head mechanical guy, and he was like, dude, just press blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, thank you, because
Oh yeah.
I know nothing about vending machines other than what I've learned in the past year, and that's not a lot, or that I've seen on videos. And those of you getting started, like it's overwhelming in the beginning. Like, and you open the machines up and you just see from the outside, it just looks like a bunch of snacks in there. But then you open up the door and you got mechanical boards and things inside that you got to learn. And then you open, I couldn't believe the first time, because I'd seen it on videos, but it's way intimidating when you first open up like a 501e and like you just see these holes and you don't know how to put the drinks in. You don't know, you know what I mean? And then they sent me, the Pepsi guys were cool because they ordered me the shims, because I told them I want to do cans, and they were nice, and they said no problem, order the shims. And then they just delivered the shims. They dropped them off at my house, and I showed up the machine like, oh, it's really simple. You just slide it in. And I took me at least 45 minutes to an hour just to figure out how to put them in there. So
Yeah.
it's overwhelming, but like the Discord and people like you and Matt and all that, like if you watch your guys' videos and send you guys messages or whatever, they will help you. Like and we know a little bit, but I wouldn't rely on us because we're still learning. But I think that I still really enjoy full line. I think that to me, it's still fun to do drinks and snacks. I think it is a lot more work, and I think we thought we were going to make more money than we do. Because by the time you buy the stuff and then fill the machine, and then we were so stupid in the beginning because we ended up filling our machines all the way up, like every time we went, and we were filling them up, and then we ended up with spoiled product. We had a bunch of expired stuff that we had to throw out, and it was like $200 worth, and that's when we learned, don't fill it up. Only put like 5 of each thing, see what sells. Then maybe put 9 of that next time, but only 5 of everything else if it's a hot seller or whatever. But we didn't know, and nobody ever said that from what I saw in our videos. Like, I'd watch, I watched, I don't know how many hours of Farnsworth's videos of him stocking his machines, and like,
Oh
I learned
yeah.
so much just because he had that GoPro on his head. I wish he was still doing it because he seems like such a cool guy. But and you'd watch him, and he'd fill everything all the way up, and so we'd fill it all the way up. And then, like, you saw the way he put his chips in sideways and the little tricks that he did that we learned so much. But nobody that I've ever seen in their videos ever says, don't fill it up. I've never seen anybody say that I've ever, that's something that people need to realize is put 3 or 4 in for the week, see if they sell out. And if they do, then maybe put a few more. But nobody ever told us that. So we were just filling and filling and filling and filling. So
I made that mistake of completely filling the machine and having expired product at my retirement apartment complex, because that was actually my first snack machine. And I didn't have any other snack machines to offload half of that inventory to. So I completely crammed that machine full. The thing I had the most dead loss on was the chips.
Yep.
And then the Mrs. Freshly's donuts.
Oh yeah, we did the donuts too, and we filled
those all
the way up.
The donuts do good on those ones, but then I got a second machine. That was that machine at the hotel. And then a friend of mine who I used to work for called me up, goes, do you still do vending? I go, yeah. I go, okay. And he goes, I have a machine. If you give me 10% of the cut each month, you can service and keep all the rest of the money out of it. So that's the one I have at the warehouse. And right now they're going through their slow phase, so I only have to go check on it like every 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
But during the summer, they're so busy, I'll pull $50 or $60 a week out of that machine.
Nice.
But and then I have another one of my big snack machines are my AP 7600s, those big 5 wides.
Yeah, those are insane. Yeah.
Believe it or not, my first one I bought, I found it on Craigslist for $80.
Dang, you're lucky with that.
Nothing wrong with it. I had to drive an hour to go get it, and all I had to do was drill out the lock because he lost the key.
That's awesome.
And that's the one I have at the apartment complex. And I bought an in-one board for it so I could put cards on it.
That's crazy. So you got, do we go over how you got started? Do you even get there yet?
No.
No? Okay. Well, let's go there. So And I real quick on back on the subject of the expired product and stuff is that I don't think anybody says also is that I don't think until you have 6 of a drink machine or 6 of a snack machine are you ever going to be totally comfortable with inventory, meaning that like you could take from this location and give it to this other location and still keep it flowing. Like we didn't get to that point till we got there where we actually could take certain things from other places and put it in the faster selling place so we wouldn't expire. It took us that long, like to get to that, and like have 1 or 2 machines doesn't cut it. Like you're buying, 60 Snickers bars or whatever's in a pack, and there's no way you're gonna go through those Snickers bars, So it's like you almost need to go to Walmart and just buy them, like 10 at a time or something to get started till you can get up to a few machines or something. So there's little tricks you're gonna have to do when you get started to make sure you don't have expired product or you really like Snickers bars. One of the two, I don't know, but you don't really want to eat your product, So how did you
No.
get started?
So I started by watching all the videos, and then I was working in a call center, and they were downsizing, and downsizing is never good.
Yeah.
And what happened was, the vending machine company they had at the time came up to the company and said, "You're not making us enough money. There's not enough people here. We're yanking our machines."
Oh.
So I asked my boss if I brought in a soda machine. He goes, "Yeah, you can keep everything." I'm like, okay. So I started selling my cans at like 60 cents a can.
Yeah.
Because that was the price like 8 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's been like 8 years since I did it. And then a month later, I got laid off from that job.
Oh.
But I left the machine there, and I'd go up once a month and service it. Well, then the opportunity came to move into my current house in my mobile home park I'm in. And when we moved in, I asked the landlord, "Is like, can I bring a machine in?" They go, "Yeah, if you give us 10%, sure." I go, and I weighed my options. I go, drive 30 miles and get about $30 a month, or give my park at 10% of my sales. I'm like, 10%.
Yeah.
And that was the first machine I bought. It was an old USI CB6 machine. I still have it.
Nice.
And it's only a little 205 can machine.
Yeah.
And that was my first machine, and it's still making me great money.
That's awesome. I think those are the kind of locations that most people don't think about. But a lot of times, a lot of people don't drive. That live in those parks. Like they'll take the bus or whatever, and I see that a lot. Like we have a mobile home park here, and like it's just that the local city buses, always going through there, picking people up and stuff because they don't either want to pay for a car or they just can't afford a car. So they're always living in that area. Like they just kind of stay there. So it's almost like it's people sitting around, but not really. But it's kind of not even thought of, I don't think. And those are great spots. That's a great idea. And I don't know if a lot of people think about that. The only thing really may worry about is maybe vandalism or something.
That's the one thing I do worry about.
Mm-hmm.
So in my park, I've got 2 machines. And then another park about 5 miles north of me, I got a machine in that park. And then most recently, a park that's less than a half a mile from me, I got a machine in there now.
Nice.
And right now it's really slow. I've only since November, I've only pulled like $200 out of the machine.
Yeah.
But it's winter, so I know it's slow. And if you look at where this machine is placed at this park, it's literally up the hill from the swimming pool. So the kids are going to see it. The basketball court's right there. It's going to do well.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is that for those of you just getting started too, is that, wintertime is your slow time for drinks. I mean, but when it starts getting warm outside, even just springtime when people actually just go outside, that's when our machines just start taking off. And then through the whole summer, like, we'll sell some waters during the wintertime, but like during the summertime, you think that people are buying almost anything wet, but the waters, like we go through waters like crazy during the summertime, and it's awesome. And they're only, 22 cents or 19 cents, or, depending on where you get them or how much they are, but they're so cheap, and we're selling them for $1, or $1.25, I think. And it's like, that's great profit. I don't know what you sell yours for.
the one place I have water is at the hotel because the bottles are generally too soft for my machines and they jam. And I don't like dealing with the jams, but at the hotel, I got the 20-ounce Arrowhead bottles from Sam's Club.
Yeah.
And I have those in the machine for $1.75, and I can't keep them in stock
Isn't that
year
great?
round.
That's great. Luckily, we use those. We're using those Bev Maxes, and we haven't really had an issue with those dispensing the flexible bottles. Luckily, but we can't put those in our 501Es or any of those. I
No.
mean, they'll just get stuck, and it's just a nightmare. So we've learned that the hard way. Because we ordered I think we ordered a whole pallet from Pepsi with the first order, and so we ended up with a pallet of stuff we couldn't use. And luckily, they took it back and swapped it out for us. It was cool. They were very cool about it, but they laughed because they're like, "You're not the first one, because you just don't know." And they're like, "You need to order these," and I'm like, "Okay." So we learned. But so tell us something personal. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, tell us something personal about yourself that people may not know.
Ooh.
It doesn't have to be super personal, just something that would be intriguing to our viewers.
Let me see. I'm trying to think of that one because I remember from the other two interviews, it's like, it always gets me thinking. It's like, but
are you a nerd? Do you like?
Oh, I'm an absolute nerd. I work in IT.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm an
So do you have
nerd.
Do you have any weird movies that you like that most people don't, or things that you like to watch on TV that you wouldn't expect?
One of my favorite shows I used to watch, and I wish it was still going, was Eureka.
Oh yeah, I remember that show. We're gonna get to a question similar to that coming up, but that's a great show. That's funny. That kind of paints a picture. That's good. That's good. So what do you think if you're getting an interview for a job, what do you think your biggest success and your biggest failure's been?
My biggest success is my determination. If I want something, I will do it until I get it. I will do what I have to get to it.
That's awesome.
To get to the goal.
Very good.
And my weakness is, I'd say half the time I'm way too nice, and some people do take advantage of me.
Yeah. And that's hard in business too, because you want to succeed, you know what I mean? And you want to do well. And sometimes you kind of bend over backwards for people, and you probably shouldn't. And then they end up walking all over you or taking advantage of you. But I think that's not really, in the long run, I think it's going to benefit you more than it being a jerk business owner that nobody likes, because you run into those too. And it's just like, they've been burned so many times by their customers. They're like, I hate customers. You don't want to be that guy either. So no. I think you're all right. What's your favorite product that you sell in your vending machines?
My favorite product that does the best, I would have to say the grandma's variety pack of cookies.
Really? That's crazy. So do you think do you do Famous Amos too, or no?
I do not.
Okay.
I can't get those here in Denver.
Even if you
Sam's Clubs, I don't like having the product shipped to me, especially food product, because I don't know how long the expiration date is. I've tried that once, and some of the stuff I got was literally like a week and a half out from expiration. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
Wow. So no, we haven't had that issue yet, and I don't know. We've gotten lucky, I guess, because we order some things you just can't get here, like the Famous Amos. Like for some reason, we have to order them. We can't get them at our local Sam's Club. We have to order. There's this ginger beer that people here go crazy for in our machines, and it's called Gosling's Ginger Beer, and it's a diet ginger beer, but it's not beer. It's just called ginger beer. It's just a soft drink. But they go absolutely nuts for it. And we got it. And I just got it because it was cheap. Like one time I was ordering some stuff on Sam's Club, and I put in diet soda because they didn't have any Diet Coke or something, or Diet Pepsi. And I was like, I need something else diet. So then I just put in diet, and that came up, and I'm like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? And it comes in like 2 12-packs. They're put together, and they ship it to your house. And they went nuts for it. And now I can't keep it in stock. Like at this dealership, they just love it. So Famous Amos do really well for us. The grandma's vanilla, the little vanilla sandwiches, seem to do really well. But like the chocolate chip and the fudge and sometimes the peanut butter do okay. But like those don't seem to sell, not even close to what Famous Amos do for us. I mean, they go like hotcakes, and we can't keep those in. So that's unusual. Maybe it's just because it's your area. I think that watching Oh, Farnsworth, when he did his videos, he used to put in those TGI Fridays, like those little baked potato,
The potato skins.
the potato skins. He used to put those in the machines. Like, oh, I can't keep these are great, and I bought like the big old case of them you get from Sam's
Oh
Club.
no.
And we didn't sell like 3, and I was like, what? He told me they'd sell. You know, I was like all disappointed, and I thought because I like them, I think they're really good.
They are.
But people here, I just don't think TGA Fridays in our area is as big as maybe it is where you guys back east are. You know what I mean, or middle of
Yeah.
US are. Is that? But for some reason in California, you know, I don't know what it is. I mean, if we had In-N-Out chips, maybe I don't know, but like those just they don't seem to do well. So, what's your best location that you have? The best does the best for you?
The one that does the best for me would be my apartment. The hotel does great, especially with the one machine I have that takes a credit card. But the pair of machines that does really good is my retirement apartment complex.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So so probably all the visitors too, when they come to visit, they probably go down and buy stuff too, then I'm guessing. Or does it all the people live there?
It's pretty much the residents. It's an age qualified apartment complex, and it's a secured entry.
Wow.
And I actually got that location because a friend of mine was working there, and he called me up one day. He goes, "Hey, you still doing vending?" I go, "Yeah." "Do you do snack machines?" I go, "No, not yet." And he goes, "Is it okay if I give your number to my boss?" Because they had just kicked out their previous vendor who was there for 6 months, and in that 6 month period, he visited there like 12 times in 6 months, and the machines were ripping people off.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah," and I went down there and made the meeting, and it's been 3.5 years now, almost 4 years I've been there.
That's awesome. Well, the first locations that we ever got were the dealerships, and we just happened to go in there just because she wanted to do this thing, Amelia, and she's like, you know, I want to, you know, so I said, well, you have to have locations, and we went in there, and then we walked right in, and you looked. As soon as we walked into the service department, they were there because that's where they put them, where all the people sit, you know, where they're waiting for their car to get serviced or whatever, which is great. And the Pepsi drink machine had every row was empty except for the one row of Gatorade, and it was all empty. And then there was only 2 things with snacks in it, like 2 little things. And so she went up the counter and she was like, "Hi, my name's Amelia," and she did a little thing, you know, and they're like, "Yes, like we want you here." And she's like, "Let me show you why." And she like walked us over there and she goes, "This has been like this for almost 4 weeks." And she goes, "The reason there's Gatorade in that row is because that row of the machine doesn't work." She goes, "That's the only reason." And she goes, "Those
Oh
you could
no.
see the date on those, what I think it was like chips or something. I don't remember what it was that had the spots that were full." She goes, "They're expired. Like you can see right on it because there's the big white date like on the front of it." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God." So basically they were dirty and filthy. And so there was a vendor that kind of took over the area, and he just did the snacks. And then the Pepsi was having issues at the time with staffing, and so they weren't able to get to all the machines. And that's what the reason with the, and I guess they told him, you know, I don't know how many times that, you know, that one row wasn't working, but they just kept putting Gatorade in it and not checking, you know, fixing it. And so that's how we got our first location. So I mean, that's great. I mean, that's just it. So if you're looking for locations, go in and see and look at what's there, and I bet you they're probably not taking care of it. So that's a great opportunity. So what do you think? Because you're super involved on YouTube and you watch a lot of videos. I know that because you're always commenting on our videos and everybody else is and asking us questions, that which is awesome. What do you think the next big thing you're seeing in vending that you noticed or that you think is like a trend now or something that you've learned that you kind of maybe see something changing that hasn't been a certain way in a long time? Anything like that?
As far as changes coming up, it seems like there's going to be more of a push for a cash free, which I really don't like. We all love the cash, but
Makes great videos. Yeah.
it does. And but it's the cost of if the costs don't start coming down, it's going to start hurting people.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't on our vending machines, but we do on our claw machines. We charge a convenience fee of 10 cents per transaction. on the claw machines. We don't do it on the vending machines. I don't know why. We just don't. Probably because, like, especially the dealership, they use that more than they use cash. So like our videos, they're kind of cash poor at the dealerships just because those guys, the sales guys, they just sit there and they don't really carry cash. So they're just always just putting their card on there. And so I think that you're right. I mean, the fees are pretty astronomical. The Nyax ones aren't bad. I got to look at the Cantaloupe ones because we have Cantaloupe. We have those little Pico Mini machines on all our vending machines, and I got to look at our fees again because Nyax is only it's $7 a month or $7.99 or $7.95 a month per thing. Plus they charge a little bit of a transaction fee, but in the long run, it's not bad because we do the 10-cent fee, and so it covers it. So we don't really have, we make the claw machines. It makes a huge difference. So it's made our profits go up quite a bit. So I think it's definitely, and plus you can monitor it. Like you can always see how your machine's doing, and I think that's a big plus because we had a couple locations where the people were unplugging it and it would sit off for 3 or 4 days, and we had no idea. So I think they're worth it, but you're right, they are expensive. So
yeah, the 4 machines I have card readers on, I have them through Greenlight, which is through VendNet.
That's what we have.
But since they changed over to Cantaloupe for all that, so they're ePorts, and I didn't buy my card readers. I rented them. So their rental program is like $16.80 a month.
Yeah.
Per device, and then the 5.95 per swipe. So all of my machines, regardless of what they are, they're getting that 10-cent surcharge on it because it offsets the service fee per swipe.
Right. Smart. Yeah. So we did the same thing with ours because we didn't have the money to buy, $400 or $500 credit card machines to start out. So we did the same thing. We rented them in the beginning to do that. And that's what it was. Same thing, but we got so lucky because when we got our first machine, they had just switched to the new touchscreen Pico Mini, units. And so we got those before we got into the ePorts and all that stuff. So we got kind of lucky. So.
Yeah. And for my machines, I don't want to cut a hole in. Because there's some machines that are like my older machines, you don't want to cut a hole in. I've actually got some of these. Oh, if it'll show it without blurring it out, the 4-in-1 plus bezels from MEI, and they'll go right on top of the bill validator bezel.
So you can't do bills anymore then though, right? Or can you?
No, you can. So on these, if you have an MEI, right here's the bill slot.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Like your bottler, like say for your BevMaxes, if you have an MEI bill validator on there and you don't want to buy the kit to replace the panel above it, you can buy the MEI 4-in-1 bezel, and it'll replace that bottler front on the front of the MEI validator and replace it with this. It'll give you the swipe and the tap.
Nice. Yeah, we ended up, Pepsi got them for us. We were lucky, but they ended up getting us, like you said, the BevMax has just the one little hole when you first get them, that has a little display in it, and then that's it. But they ended up ordering us those panels that we could put the card in. So we got lucky. We didn't have to do that. And they didn't make what you're showing right then there. So we really had no other option but to get Nyax or don't do any credit card without that panel. And they were lucky. They were nice enough to order them for us. So that kind of worked out. But
yeah. And MEI's had these out for about 10 years now.
I didn't know that. So we didn't, maybe it was just something that VendNet didn't know about because they didn't tell us about those when we were getting
VendNet didn't tell me about it either.
Oh, so there you go.
This was me playing around on YouTube finding it because I didn't want to have to cut my machines up.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. Who are your favorite people to follow in business, whether it's vending or not? Who do you like to watch on YouTube or watch on TV, or who do you like to follow?
My top 3 on YouTube are you, Galaxy Games, and Extreme Vending.
Yeah, nice.
Another one of the ones I like watching Following Keenan.
Yeah, that's funny. That's good.
Another one is Investment Joy.
Yeah. He is crazy. Like, he's always doing something crazy. You know what I mean? It's like he's always buying something new or doing something different. I like watching him too. Very good.
Another one I got into is Car Wash Chronicles. Because he's out there in California.
I've always wanted. He is not, is he?
Yes, he's in Southern Cal.
I thought he was like in Texas or something.
No, he's in California. That
Really?
Australian, the Australian dude.
Oh, I thought you meant Investment Joy.
No, Investment Joy is in Ohio.
Ohio, that's where he is. Okay.
Car Wash Chronicles is in California.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, he may not be that far from us then. I wonder where he's at. You said Southern, like LA area or what?
Not quite sure. He just bought a car wash like 2 hours away from his house and I think in Nevada or in Arizona.
So he
So
must be Southern California.
Southern
then.
California.
That's crazy. So that's like 12 hours from us still though. Like people don't realize like how big, like you look at a map and like California is long. Like it takes a long time to get from where we are like way down to the bottom. So it's like 12 hours probably.
Are you in the
So to get,
northern part?
yeah, so we're up by Sacramento. So
Oh,
we're quite a ways up and we're almost to the top. We're about, 3/4 of the way up. So it takes us a long time to get down there. It's like 12 hours to get to Disneyland. It can be up to 14 with all your stops and traffic and it's pretty crazy. So we're
might have to
pretty,
get a hotel room.
yeah, seriously, it's a long ways down. So, what in your lifetime do you think the biggest, either a book or a movie or like a show, like what was the biggest influence or shaped your career the most? Either a book you read or something that you followed to help you with vending.
Well, following with vending was just a wild thing I found. I thought of it a long time ago, and I finally bit the bullet 8 years ago and started doing it. But my mom shaped a lot of the things in my career, in my life, because she wanted me to be successful, and I've always had the drive, and it always gave me the drive to, if I want an end goal, I have to work towards it,
Yeah,
because it's just not going to be given to me.
yeah. And that's hard to learn, I think. You know what I mean? I think especially when you're young, like I'm old now, but when you're young, like you really think like you see all these people, like well, especially now, I think it's even worse with YouTube and TikTok and stuff, and they're all the kids with their money and the fast cars and all the stuff they have, and
Yeah,
it's like none of it's real, but you can't explain to an 11-year-old that that's not real. It's like no, that's
yeah,
real, and it's like so, but a lot of times you really have to work hard to get anything, and even when, and then if it's handed to you, it's still not as fun. You know what I mean? Like
no,
when you work something and you build something and it grows, and like I think that's what Emily and Sam are learning is like they make a video or they go and they do something and like people watch it. It's like it's a huge accomplishment. You know what I mean?
oh, it
It's like
is.
they're like it's cool. Like and then they see people comment about something that they did in the video and they're like that's just something I do, but it's cool that people see that, and then I think that anybody that has kids, like they should definitely try to, it doesn't have to be vending, but they should try to do something with them to teach them business or teach them something about growing something, whatever it may be. And so I don't know, they're just having the best time. It's really cool. So, what superpower do you wish you had and why?
Oh, what's that one? Strength is always a good one because I don't like having to rely on people to help me move anything. So if I can move things
No,
myself,
that's your superpower. If you got any, you want to just be able to lift heavy things.
no, and it's like
You
stronger,
just
faster. It's just how it's just I've been very independent. So I was like, I try to do everything myself and not having to try and call someone.
yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, totally. That makes sense to me too. And the fact is like when you're strong too, you can do anything you want to do pretty much. You know what I mean? And you don't need to. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. That's a good one. All right. So what is one idea that experts in our field say that you may not agree with?
That I've seen some people say is like, I know Dominic's more correct on anything. It's like there's always going to be the good, the bad, and the ugly, and he's not wrong with that. But then there's the ones that say they're an expert in vending and they just go out and they pull these massive amounts of monies out of their machines, and you get the feeling it's staged,
Yeah.
and they make our machines a target,
Yeah. That's
and
true
it's really
too.
sad.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing I think with TikTok and those things and those little shorts and stuff like that. I mean, that's all you really see. It's like just people just pulling money out of their machines and stuff. And it's like, I think there's the idea that it's cool to show what you're making, but you're gonna have up weeks and you're gonna have down weeks, and you're gonna have great credit card weeks, and then you're gonna have no credit card weeks, and it just depends on what it is. And like we always pull what's in our machine, and I think I'd mentioned this before. Like people, when we did our live stuff, they're like, "That's real." You know what I mean? Like they see us walking in the place and like opening it. You know what I mean? Like it's not staged, and so I think that for us was kind of a validator, so people knew that like we don't walk into somewhere and say, "Oh, we're going to be in 10 minutes. We're just going to put this money in this machine, then we're going to leave, and then we're going to come back." And you know what I mean? Like I couldn't imagine if it wasn't real, and the fact that we do have great locations, but we also have locations that aren't that great. And we have, like we'll put the days and how long it is and stuff like that. But, it makes them a target, and that's true. And I don't think that's a good thing about it. And I think that's kind of why we've done less collections and more, more learning and more stuff like this. Like to me, this is way more valuable for people to have, real people talking about the way it really is instead of what you see. It's kind of like, it's like the old school, like what you see on TV is never real, So, and it's kind of like that too. You're right. So how do you deal with angry customers or upset business owners? Do you have a story?
Trying to think. I haven't really had any of those over the last 8 years, really, because I get the warehouse location. I've done a couple of refunds over the couple of years. I had one person text me saying that my machine ripped them off, and was like they were gonna be upset at me or not come back. I'm like, okay, I'll give you a refund. Gave them the refund, went about their day.
Yeah.
Never had any problems. I mean, even at my apartment complex, in the 3.5 years I've been there, I think I've given out 4 refunds. If you keep up on your machines,
yeah,
and keep them stocked, keep the customers happy, you're not gonna generally have a bad one.
And I think that's true too with like the new machines, like all the ones we've gotten from both Pepsi and the ones we ordered brand new, which we're paying off. Those all have those, they have the drop sensors on them, so they know when something's either been dropped or it doesn't, and it'll even roll it out again to try to drop a product before, and if not, it refunds people. And I think that there's only been one refund I think we've done since we've been there, and it was a credit card issue, and then the person ended up coming back to the lady and giving them the money back because it actually got credited back to their account. You know what I mean? But it took like 3 or 4 days to go back because they thought they got charged. And they're like, "Oh, I feel so bad. Like, here's my, my $1.25 back, And she's like, she goes, "Just keep it." And we said the same thing, "Just keep it, And he goes, "All right, I'm gonna go buy something." And he went back to the machine, she said, and bought something because she felt bad that, they raised a stink about it. But you're right. We don't really. Right now, we have 2 drink machines that are down at 2 different locations, and they're both Pepsi machines. One's a BevMax, and the other one's a 501E. And one of them just won't dispense out of one. It won't do the Gatorades no matter what they did with the shims or anything. And then for some reason, normal cans on the other trough, it's just spitting out 2 or 3 at a time. And they've adjusted all the shims, they moved everything, they've done everything. Like Pepsi's been out there like 3 or 4 times. So they're replacing that one. The BevMax, it's like offline. And so they've realigned it, they've tried that, they've done everything, and they're like, "We're just gonna swap it out." So, but we've been waiting almost 3 weeks.
Oh.
So it's been, I think this week is gonna be a month for both of these locations to get their machines back, to get new machines.
That's not good. That's a lot of money lost.
And I was on the phone with the guy today, and they're very nice, but he's like, we've had a problem getting machines, and then they take a while to get to us, and so hopefully, I'm hoping by the beginning of next week we'll have a machine. But I put a sign up there, and we've gone in once a week and just filled up the snack machine and made sure, and we checked in and said, we're getting the machine, and they're like, "It's okay," but you still feel weird about it. So you're gonna have that kind of stuff too, which sucks.
Yeah, none of my machines have drop sensors.
Oh, really?
Really?
I think those are awesome. Like I think that was one of the biggest things that has saved us on a lot of. Well, you said you haven't had many refunds or anything or any
No.
problems. So.
And all of my machines are old.
Yeah. See.
I think the newest of my machines is probably 15 years old. And that's that one I have that I just bought that new board for.
Yeah.
Even one of my.
Go ahead. Sorry.
One of my big AP machines, the 45 selection stack machines. I got one of those for free.
Nice.
Had to go pick it up, and they said the only thing that was wrong with it was the control board was fried. Well, I had upgraded my other big machine to the N1 board, and it's like, oh wait, I still got the board from that laying around.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
And so all but one of the motors work in that machine, and it's on the gum tray that doesn't work.
Your nickname should be resourceful. That's pretty good. That's really good. I know that it's helped us. The drop sensor has helped us on a couple items. One of them was we went and bought these. It was like a kit of Pringles, like the little cans of Pringles, and Scooby snacks, and something at Sam's Club. It was like a 3 or 4 pack box. I think it was. Yeah, it was. I don't know what. There was something else in it. Oh, it had like Rice Krispie treats or something in this box.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. So we put the Pringles cans because on the rollers or whatever, and so then what was happening was, which we didn't. I'm an idiot and I didn't think about it, but as they were spinning, to move the can down, well, the can was spinning so it was never going down. No. So like we did. So then we got a phone call. And the people were getting refunded because it wasn't dropping, you know what I mean? So they just kept getting in. So the lady called me and she's like, just so you know, like the Pringles won't come out. And I'm like, I thought it got stuck or something. And so then we showed up and sure enough, I go to like test it because I never tested it. I should have tested it, which was stupid in itself. Or I could have put it in like a bigger row or something. So it was actually in a hole, or something. But
yeah.
So there I go, sure enough, and like even Amelia looked at me like I was an idiot. Like we sit there and watched it because I'm like test band or whatever. And it's like just spinning. And she's just looking at me like, really, Dad? Like, did you not think it was just gonna, you know what I mean? But I didn't think about it. But those are the kind of things you learn. So luckily, those people got refunded, or else we probably would have had a problem with those not getting refunded. So, anyways, let's see. We kind of went over a myth. That's kind of what we talked about the other thing. What's your favorite part about this business and your least favorite part about this business?
My favorite part is during the summer I'll go and fill the machines at the trailer parks I have them in, and the kids will always come up and ask for soda.
That's cool.
As I'm stocking it, because there are times I'll get there at 3 in the afternoon, anywhere from 3 in the afternoon to sometimes 8 o'clock at night. Just depends on when I get off my day job.
Yeah.
And so those are the parts I love. Is I love doing them for the kids. They always buy a ton of soda, and like I said, I keep going back to my apartment complex I get there. The residents there, they just love me. They're always giving me compliments there, and it's always nice because it always makes them happy because a lot of them can't get out anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's true. And you bring them and then the cool thing too, I think that Sam's really enjoying is seeing that he'll choose something for the machines and it does real well. Like he's very excited. He just chose. There's that new drink, Prime, that what's that wrestler guy and the other fighter guy came out with.
I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember what it is.
Big on YouTube too. I can't remember. Hey Amelia, what's the fighter guy with the Prime drink? the Prime drink guy, the wrestler guy. Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah.
She's Logan Paul. Anyways, she knows better than I do. But anyways, Logan Paul has this drink. So he wanted this drink for his machine. So we ordered it. It was out at Sam's Club. We finally ordered it. It's coming. And so he's all excited to try it. But like Amelia also gets really excited when we go to Logan's, and Logan's is really busy, and she has a claw machine there, and like she loves, because almost every time we walk in there's somebody playing it, and she just gets so excited to see the little kids. And then if they don't win, she like pulls a prize out and gives it to the kids and stuff.
Aww.
She just thinks that's like I don't know, maybe it's because it makes her feel older or like more important or whatever it may be, but like that feeling, like her face lights up. Like she's like, that's my machine. That's, I'm making them happy with them playing my machine. And yeah, she's making money, but that's not what's making her happy. And I think that's so cool. And
No.
Sam's the same way. He loves the full line, and he wants to be called Soda Snack Sam, and he's like all about it. We have these little boxes. I don't know if you do that at your locations or not, but we have a little suggestion box at all our locations with little cards. And we just have a little sign, and it says like, what are we missing? Question mark. If you like anything for us to add to the machines, let us know. And like, we'll get cards, I don't know, 1 or 2 a month, maybe it's sometimes, but it's funny because the last one, when he first started, the first location that he did, he opened up the box and it said they wanted munchies and they wanted hot Cheetos. And we hadn't had hot Cheetos for a while because we were buying it in those
Variety packs.
Yes, and we were buying the variety packs. So we like the 2-ounce, chips. So we were buying the variety pack, but nobody was eating the Doritos. The hot Doritos wouldn't sell, and then something else wouldn't sell. And I finally said, let's just stop buying that because we're not selling the rest of the stuff. I mean, the kids were eating it, so they were happy,
Yeah.
but like we weren't selling it. And so then we ended up finding on Sam's Club you can buy a big box of just hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
So we bought hot Cheetos and we bought a box of munchies, and he put them in the machine, and we went back and the next week and they were all gone. And he was like so excited because he's like, that's like 9 in each row or whatever of the stuff. And he was just like, that's so cool. Like and I told him, I said, it's weird because you'll put it in and they'll buy it and it'll be super popular for like a month and then they won't buy it anymore.
It just drops off.
Yeah, it just drops off. But I said, they're so excited to have it. So I said, don't plan on that selling a lot. We'll go through that box and then let's chill for a little bit, make them want it again, because otherwise you're going to be buying a whole other box of.
And expired out.
Yeah, so, but I think they get excited about that. About pleasing people and making them, which is cool. That's really neat. So
I have one location where I have my info on. So I took 2 of those page protector sheets.
Yeah.
So I took one of them and I put a piece of paper in it with my contact info about when my service schedule is. If there's any problems, text me, email me. It's all on the sheet. And below that, I put another one of those pouches, but I trimmed it down so it's more like a pocket.
Yeah.
And I put slips in it. So if there's a problem with the machine, you fill out your name, your phone number, your apartment number, and whether it was the snack or the soda and what the selection was. And the next time I come in, I'll take care of it.
Nice.
And it works great for that location. That's the only location that directly has my number on the machine, because I started doing that at first, and then I started getting a lot of crank calls. Of people saying, oh, it ripped me off this, it ripped me off that. But it's like, and then I just stopped. I took my number off the machine. They stopped calling me.
Yeah.
But I leave my email on there.
We have our phone number like on those Pico Mini, credit card machines. They're kind of cool. You can actually put little ads on them. Like you make little ads that will actually rotate on the actual screen. So we have like our logo, and then there's a picture of Amelia, which we're gonna switch to Sam. And and so they switch, and it's really cool. So then our phone number's on this stuff, but we never really get calls like that. We haven't had any issues of people calling us. Like the only one time the lady called us from one of Amelia's claw machines because we put these little Pokemon packs inside there, and like when he won it, like the plastic things that kind of go around, to hold the toys.
Yeah.
Like there's like a little it's kind of overlapping like that. And one of the cards got like stuck in the thing.
Oh.
And so the kid's like, oh, I won. You know what I mean? But then it got stuck in the so the mom's on the phone and she's like, my son won these cards and like they're stuck. And I'm like, and I go, well, how stuck are they? And she goes, well, it's just kind of laying there. And I go, well, just shake it a little bit. Like, be careful. Like, don't shake it a lot, but just shake it a little bit. So you hear like, and she goes, he got it. And they got all excited. But that's really the only, but it's just so cute because like you could tell she was like so upset for him that he won, and he's just like, oh, the prize is like right there in the glass and I can't get it and I won, you know what I mean? And it's like you win anyways, you get excited, but like the poor kid, and I'm like, oh no, I feel so bad. But that was random. But anyways, what's your least favorite part?
The least favorite part I've had over the years was the vandalism. I've had 7 incidences of vandalism over the years, and I've learned that if you're going to have an outside machine, have it double locked. So all of mine have high security Abaloy keys on them on the outdoor machines, but then they have either a puck lock on the side, or people laugh at them because the master locks are easy to pick, but you know what? It's still going to slow them down.
Right.
I have one that I got a master lock on the side of it, and then the other one, my Vendo machine, my one Vendo machine, it's my Frankenstein machine because it's got Dixie Narco controller in it
Oh,
that I
jeez.
rewired. But it came with a cover that went over the T handle. So I locked the T handle, and I locked the puck lock that's on the outside of it, so you can't even get to the T handle.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
if you have an outdoor machine, you got
some
to make
crazy
sure
stuff.
it's secured.
I've seen some crazy stuff like at car washes or those types of places where they'll actually be like in, actual metal shells, like cages with just the certain, like just the buttons open and the hole open, and that's
Yeah,
it. You know what I mean? Like that's all you can see of the machine. And then I've seen them with like big giant metal bars like around them with a lock,
yeah,
it looks like they're wearing a belt. You know what I mean? That goes around. I've
yeah.
seen that too. But yeah, no, and I think Matt's had issues with that too, like over the years, because this is at a laundromat. I think he's had some problems too. But luckily ours are all inside. We even the only one that's close to outside is in a shop, at the dealership. So nobody really messes with them. So we've gotten lucky on
No.
that. What's your favorite scary movie?
Favorite scary movie? Trying to think of one that actually scared me.
or horror or whatever.
Horror movies.
I love
Horror.
Halloween. That's why I asked this question. I'm weird.
I did grow up watching the Michael Myers, all of them.
Halloween. Yeah.
I started watching those when I was about 5 years old.
Yeah, no, well, how old are you?
30. I turned 38 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm 10 years older than you. So when you were watching those that came out when I was like a kid, you know what I mean? So like we used to, I mean, it was weird because I think Matt and I were talking about this and we were having our conversation, but like those movies, like the Freddy Krueger and the Jason and all those, like those came out like when we were young, and like we're at the theaters and we're super huge. They were like blockbuster. I mean, like they were popular movies at the time. So like you went with your girlfriend and watched those at the movie. You know what I mean? Those were like what you went and watched.
Yeah.
And they were like kind of taboo. You know what I mean? Because that was kind of pushing the envelope at the time. Like now it's nothing. But at the time, like people waking you up in your nightmares and killing you, and like that was just freaky stuff. During that time. So it's just weird now, like it's like movies like Saw that come out and stuff that are just, or The Human Caterpillar, or like those weird movies that are just like, what the heck is going on? But yeah, no, I used to love those too. So Halloweens were always good, and Jason and Freddy and all that stuff. So.
Oh yeah.
So what would be your biggest advice? It could be one thing or multiple things that you would give to even a current business owner that's out there, or people that are getting started in the business. What is your biggest advice?
Don't expect profit right off the bat. It's not going to happen. Even buying a turnkey route for $10,000 or $20,000, you're not going to be turning profit right away. It's not going to happen. You can hope, you can wish, you can watch all the channels you want. It's not going to happen.
Yep, 100%. There's this lady that I don't know what her name is, and she keeps popping up on my TikTok and my feeds and stuff. And she does like interviews with people that have businesses, and she's got like a brown hair, and she did one with Investment Joy and a few other people, and she talked to some guy that was vending, and she made a comment. I think it was with one of them, and she said, "So let's figure this out," and she punches the numbers all quick, and she's like, she made it very nonchalant, like of how much it costs to get in. Like it was like, oh, you're just gonna pay this and that and this and this, but then you're in. And I'm like,
no, it's not.
No, it's not. First of all, second of all, like I mean, like there was stuff that would just kept adding up for us because we got started. So first, you got to get machines, right? And we had to get machines from Pepsi, which we were lucky, but we also had to buy our snack machines. So those, immediately they want money down. Plus, you're going to be making monthly payments whether you make money or not. So that's the first thing. Or you have to buy one on Facebook. Then you got to buy your product, right? So then there's stuff that you need to, haul the stuff around. You need a cart. We don't necessarily have to, but I mean, like we were lucky, like we had some old milk crates and stuff that we could put stuff in, and like, you know what I mean? But we also started without credit card machines right away. So then we didn't pre-kit. So we had to buy all of our stuff, which is another cost. So that was almost to fill our machines, because we filled them up all the way, which we shouldn't have. But still, it's still like $500 or $600 just for your first Sam's Club trip, just to get started, to get
Yeah.
your two machines full. Then you've got all the other costs that go along with it, and then so you're in it, thousands of dollars before you even get started. Then you've got to, so then you got to put. Then we got there, and the machine wouldn't work, and I couldn't figure out why. Well, what nobody showed me on any of the videos, which I didn't know, was that you have to fill up the change machine, the change holder. So then there's another $100 worth of change that's, or $80 or whatever it is. You got to put quarters and nickels and dimes or whatever you're going to put inside the change holder, which we didn't know, or it won't work. You know what I mean? It won't let you take cash if you don't have money in that change holder. So it basically stops all cash sales. So it's like, but that wasn't something that they taught us. And so, I mean, probably if I would have said I was more of a newer vendor than I probably was when I was talking to Winter and stuff, they probably would have walked me all the way through all that stuff, but I didn't. I just wanted a machine and I wanted to get started. But that was, these little things kept adding up. And so then, yes, you're in that money, but now all of a sudden you got to make all that back before you start making profit. And halfway through that, you're out of half your product. So now you got to go buy more product. So you really takes the time to get caught up to actually, it's like, it takes a while. So you're right, 100%. Like it doesn't happen overnight. And even if you buy an existing thing, you still got to go buy all the product and pay yourself back. So before you even get started, you're going to be in the hole. So you're going to have to put your own money in the machine. So make sure you have change and rolls of quarters and all the stuff that you need to put in the machine. So, I mean, all those things add up,
I have a kit. Like if I'm getting a new machine already, part of my kit is a roll of dimes, a roll of nickels, and a roll of quarters.
100%.
And I'll just throw one roll of each in there. I don't care if it's only half full, but it's going to get it to at least a point where it'll take cash.
Yeah.
And then, for a couple of a week, maybe two, I won't get any change. Or depending on how popular it is right away, they'll fill those columns up. And then I was like, okay, the machine's full. Now I'm going to get all the change.
Yeah.
And for the first 3.5 years I had my business, I was doing all this on an Excel spreadsheet, keeping track of it all.
Which you use Vensoft now, right?
I use Vensoft now. Jamie Farnsworth turned me on to Vensoft.
Yeah, and I know Matt uses it too. He likes it.
And I got signed up with Vensoft, and Lubin with Vensoft is a great help. You can, he's in the Czech Republic. He's not even Vensoft's not even a U.S. company.
Yeah.
But if I have a problem with the software, I'll send him an email, and within 12 hours, I'll have a reply.
That's awesome.
And it's really nice because it works really well. I'll admit I have the base one that doesn't do telemetry, but it tracks everything for me and makes my life so much easier.
That's awesome. And that's a huge help, when you have that kind of stuff off your shoulders. Like, do you use the with our Pico Minis, they use the Vensoft, the AirVend software. Do you use the AirVend software at all?
I use Seed Live is where I get all my data from Cantaloupe.
Okay, so we use a program. It's 365 Marketplace is the company they use for all their phone calls and all the stuff for that software, and it's AirVend Live or whatever we use, and like that's why I haven't had to get something like Vensoft, because basically it does all that for you, so you can do all your PARs and your like on site. I don't know if I can pull it up on my phone so people can see, but on site, you can update your inventory and your machines. Like I've noticed with Matt, like I see him on his videos and he's always writing down all of his stuff. And I'm like, I do that all on my phone.
I do too on mine.
Okay, so you can do that with Vensoft? I can't really see.
I don't know if you can see that.
No, it's kind of hard.
Okay, it's because I have a private screen glare on there.
And it may not work on mine either. What was that?
Vensoft has an app.
Okay.
A couple of my videos at the apartment complex, I've done screen recording while I'm doing my inventory entry. So every time I go to a site, so every time I'm getting ready for a trip, I make a trip in Vensoft, and then when I get in my car, I'm having the same problem you're having.
Yeah.
We both have the same phone.
Yeah, it's too bright, I think. Anyways, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just trying to see if you could see it, but go ahead.
So when I make a trip on Vensoft and I'll go get in my car, first thing I do is I download the trip to my phone, and then I put my mileage in. And as I go to each machine, and each location's in my route is in there in numeric order where in my usual route I run it. And then what I do is I'll hit that location, I'll hit service, and I will take inventory of everything in the machine.
Nice.
Once I take the inventory, I'll get done with it, and then I hit cash. It'll tell me what the expected amount of cash is going to be for that machine. And then I just move on to the next location. If I have a credit card reader, because when I hit the fill button on the cantaloupes, it'll display the cashless amount for the week, or since the last time the fill button was placed up on the screen. And so I'll take that cashless amount and type it into my app and do my inventory and do all that stuff for each one. Then when I get home, I'll count the money up, put it all into the app. It usually matches or is a little bit over or a little bit under. There's always a fluctuation depending on how much change was given out or if cash was taken in.
Right.
But I'll count it all up, load it all and I'll type it all into the app, and then I'll upload the trip back to Vensoft, and it'll be in my trip history.
Nice.
And it puts all the sales numbers, it calculates all my commission, my profit numbers, everything.
Yeah, so this one's similar, but it's more basically you go in. It's for the inventory part. It's super easy and it's great because basically you go to the location and it tells you throughout the week as you're going along like how much money's in the machine or how much you sold actually is what it tells you. And then you can go to another spreadsheet and it'll break it down by cash, credit card, chain, whatever. It breaks it all down for you, which is really cool if you want to see all that. If not, then when you go to the location, so I just pull up, I don't even know, you can't see it, but basically you go to the machine and it has what they call a planogram. I'm sure you guys have planograms on yours too. Is that what it's called?
I have planograms in Vensoft.
Okay, so it'll pull up the planogram and then you just click on update quantity on hand. So we fill it and then they tell me, then Sam will go through and go, okay, 5 of this, 10 of this, whatever. And I just put it in the thing and then we update it and my inventory is all updated and already in the machine. And that's all the inventory we have to do. So then as it sells it through the week, then when we're about to go go out and service it, I just click on the par thing and it basically tells me how many I need in each machine. And when we go there, it's dead on, like every time. Like you need 7 Pepsis and 4 Sprites and whatever. And unless when I printed the night before, by the time we get there at noon, we sold a Sprite or something. But
that happens.
Otherwise it's like dead on, and it's awesome. And then you can run like reports on sales and you put in your sales tax and all that, and it does everything. So like when we were getting ready to do the tax stuff because we don't pay sales tax, we have a seller's permit in California, so we don't pay sales tax on any of our products. So we buy all our stuff tax free, and then at the end of the year, we have to turn in like so when I did that, like I had to call the California tax lady because I didn't know what I was doing. So I called the government and said, can you help me? And she's like, you're not the first. She goes, I'll walk you through this. And she goes, do you have your numbers? And I said, yeah, actually. I said, I have this program we've been using since the beginning. And she's like, yeah, just give me those. And so she pumps them in and she's like, this is awesome. And she pumped, and then she told us what we owed. And that was it. And it was great. So luckily we have that. We don't, the Vensoft gives you that tracking your mileage. It does, it's supposed to be really good with your tax forms and stuff. I don't think this does any of that. This just kind of came free with the software or whatever that we got with the machines. But any of those make sure you guys get credit card readers on your machines because it'll make your life so much easier. And if you can, just rent them from either Nyax or Cantaloupe or whoever. And and then Matt has that Galaxy Games 843 code if you get Nyax and use that code because they'll get you a discount. So, all right, next question is, what can we expect from you next?
Hopefully at the end of March, I get my first crane claw machine.
Ooh, you ordered one?
No, I hope I can afford one or I win the contest.
There you go. See, well, you have been commenting a lot on our videos, so you have quite a few entries in there. So what's crazy is that I talked to Kevin I think it was like 4 or 5 days ago, and he said that we only have like 600 and something people entered into the contest. So that's like a 1 in 600 chance. Like that's really good. And if you have more entries from doing the, all the commenting and stuff, that's even more. I mean, like that's better, even better odds. So that's awesome. That's a really.
I've always comment on every video you guys always have.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Even before the contest.
And you don't do stupid comments either. Like you actually, you could tell you watched the video, and like you actually commenting or giving people knowledge or something. And we appreciate that because that's a big deal, and that's why we do it. So, so you're gonna get a mini claw?
If I can, I'll get a mini claw. I want to start getting into claws because I figure the profit will probably be jumping up on that.
Yeah, it's the best thing we've ever done, and they'll pay for itself in just a few months. It's great, and Amelia's having a lot of fun with those. So then it's turned into, it kind of really it blows up really fast. Like you start getting, once you get rolling, you start getting more locations, and you can buy more and more. Yeah, it's a rabbit hole. So you'll have a lot of fun though, but it is a good rabbit hole. And then you'll be like, why did I ever do full line? Because there's no work in this, and you'll feel really stupid. But I still like our full line machine. So what would be one final, well, you can do more than one. What are your final thoughts to leave all your viewers and all your listeners with?
Don't give up on your dreams.
Nice.
If you got a dream of trying to start your own business, don't give up on it. People will try and knock you down. Keep up on your dreams. Don't let them die.
Yeah. And also remember too, something that it took me a long time to learn, that sometimes you live in a place, like let's just say it's where you live, or you go to school. Like let's say you guys are in school still. Let's say you're still in high school and you want to do this. Remember that outside of where you live, people don't know who they are, and they don't judge you on anything else in your past. So everybody that you meet in the future is going to judge you on who you are. So make sure that you realize that you're bigger than all those people around you that are there, and that your dreams to somebody else are going to be just as exciting as they are to you, because they don't know, that you farted in class in 3rd grade or whatever it may be, right? It doesn't matter. Like nobody knows your business outside, and they're only going to know you for who you are. So remember that. You may feel like you're in this bubble, but the bubble is not just that bubble. It's the whole world, and you got all that to play with.
That bubble gets bigger quickly.
Yes. And especially if you do stuff like YouTube, or you just start networking, like even on the Discord or any of that stuff, like there's people from all of different countries in our Discord that are on there all the time commenting and doing stuff. Even when we're sleeping, there's people on there commenting. And there's one guy from France and a couple other people in that Discord that just are having a blast. And you can learn just from people like that how things work other places. And I don't know, like you said, don't give up. It's awesome, and it's a lot of fun, whether you do full line or cranes or if you do even candy machines or anything. Like, don't give up. It's awesome. Yeah. Mike, I really appreciate you hanging out with me tonight, man. It's been awesome.
Same here.
It's nice to meet you face to face, and
same here. It is.
I watch your videos, but you don't really know somebody until you get to sit down with them. So I really appreciate you sitting down with us. So it's been great.
Thank you.
No problem. Best of luck to you. You've been killing it. Your videos, I mean, you've been pumping them out like crazy, and your content is awesome because you don't just do collection videos. You do learning videos, and I don't know how many fixes I've gotten off Matt that he told him you learned from you. So, so I appreciate all the help. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
All right. Have a good night. Thanks, guys, for watching. Talk to you next time. Hopefully,
thanks for all watching.
See who's going to be on next. So thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
And this is, Mike from 720 Vending.